Welcome in, folks. Prince Viking with the underscore on Twitch here. This video is going to bring you all the information you need to know about the Survivor perks, the 23 updated perks, whether they're a buff, whether they're a nerf, what's our opinion overall, and why. Borrowed Time, first updated perk. Old perk, it had 12 seconds endurance, which meant if you was rescued from hook, you had kind of 12 seconds where if the killer would hit you within that period, you wouldn't go down from injured state. Instead, you'd have kind of a deep wound effect where you would need to obviously recover from that, but that would eradicate or at least reduce the chance of being tunneled. The new version of Borrowed Time gives you 10 seconds on top of the base 5 seconds every survivor gets, which in total is 15 seconds, which makes it a brilliant buff. It's a bonus 3 seconds on prior to this update, so it's a huge update, a great change from DBD, and we back that up with some survivors will enjoy the game more because if killers tunnel, it allows the survivors or provides the survivor that extra opportunity to escape or lose the killer or get to a new loop zone, and again thus allowing that survivor to have a better game experience. The updated Borrowed Time is certainly a buff. Botting Knowledge, the second updated perk, had a healing speed and item efficiency increased by 33% prior to the update. This was pretty decent. A 16-second heal would be a 12-second heal, and also your charges on your medkit 2432 would be increased, making it a bit easier to get a third or a second heal without the requirement of a gel dressing, for example. Now, the update, the new perk, has 50% healing speed, which takes a 16-second heal to 10.6 seconds. If you combined it with a medkit, you can bring it down to 9, yellow medkit 8, a green or purple medkit literally 8 seconds exactly, which is pretty powerful. The only difficulty with the perk is the item efficiency is reduced by 20%, which means a yellow medkit with 24 charges, it takes nearly 5 away, meaning you'd need a gel dressing to get 2 heals. A ranger medkit, a purple medkit with 32 charges, it would take nearly 6 away, again needing at least a bandage to get a second heal on that medkit. So you will need a lot of gel dressings, which makes it a disadvantage with medkits if you want that second or third heal. Now, the healing speed though is fantastic. As I said, 10 seconds. If you combined it with Circle of Healing, it's 8 seconds. If you combined it maybe without Circle of Healing, but you want to put a medkit on, yellow or green, okay, put some add-ons on, you can get that down to 8 seconds with a green or purple medkit, 9 seconds with a standard medkit, which is pretty brilliant. If you take the add-ons on, which can add another 40%, 25% for the abdominal dressing, and medical scissors 15%, and you've got a gel dressing and bandage, you can actually achieve 5.9 seconds a heal. If you bring Built to Last with that, you can refill your item up 99% the first time, 66 the second, 33 the second, which will certainly make for a very interesting game. And those heals and that speed of healing, you can obviously loop the killer and heal on the loops. Overall, it's a fantastic perk for the healing speed, and you can counter the minus 20% reduced efficiency with add-ons, gel dressings, bandages, and so on. I would definitely try this with Circle of Healing. I would definitely maybe try Built to Last, purple medkit or a green medkit with those add-ons. And if you can get that 5.9 second heals, 2 of them, 3 of them, you're going to have so much fun in the map. And the killer may even respect you and leave you alone because of what you're doing or what you're able to do. Overall, Botany Knowledge, a buff. Perk number 3, Calm Spirit. The old version would reduce by 100% animals being disturbed or alerting the killer to your presence, and also stop you from screaming in the game as well, depending on the killers that had that ability to make you scream. The new version does exactly the same, but it's got an added bonus. It allows you to open chests and cleanse blessed totems silently, but at a 30% reduced speed. Now, what does this mean? So a totem, dull totem, is 14 seconds. To cleanse any totem, 14 seconds. If you want to bless a totem with Circle of Healing or want a Shadow Step, it would be 14 seconds on a dull totem. On a hex totem is 28 seconds. Now, at 30% reduced speed, 14 seconds would work out to about 18, just over 18 seconds. So it adds 4 seconds to it. So if you cleanse in a totem, a 14-second normal cleanse would take you just over 18 seconds, adding about 4 seconds. If you was blessing a totem, hex totem, then that 28 seconds would be changed to about 36 seconds. So it adds about 8 seconds. But the bonus is you do it completely silently on top of opening chests. So if you're in the basement and someone's doing a chase above you using the killer shack, then you open that chest is silent, which is a huge advantage in the game. The advantage is you can carry on opening the chest in silence. The other option is you'd stand and wait till the chase goes away. Now, if someone's really good at looping, that could be 10, 20, 30, 40 seconds until the killer gives up. And in that time, you've done nothing else. Whereas you could have opened that chest, healed yourself, and then either joined in the chase or to try to take the chase off the injured survivor, or take the chase yourself, or find a particular moment that the killer's gone out the door and you can obviously leave yourself to another loop zone or to a generator to help friends. So Calm Spirit, definitely a buff. Dark Sense, the 4th perk updated by DBD. The old perk revealed the killer's aura to you for 5 seconds when the gem was completed, and when the final gem was completed, it revealed the killer's aura for 10 seconds. This didn't matter if the killer was the other side of the map, had no impact on you or where you was or what you was doing. It would just activate automatically. The new perk now doesn't automatically activate when a gen's completed. Each time a generator completed, it will only activate for 10 seconds at tier 3 when the killer is within a 24-meter radius of yourself, which is fantastic. It's brilliant because you can see the killer's aura and then adjust your looping strategy accordingly, and the killer will have no idea that you've got Dark Sense. So it's a huge buff. Dead Hard perk 5. So previously you would be able to dash over traps, through Hunter's hatchets. You'd be able to dash forward towards your next loop zone, window, pallet, and so on. And Dead Hard was the most used perk, exhaustion perk, and perk as a survivor. Now, Dead Hard's update has reduced the dash forward. They've taken the dash forward away, and they've given you endurance, like a borrowed time effect, but this is only for 0.5 seconds, and it plays an animation that the killer can see as well. Now, you've got to basically be able to watch that killer behind you on chase, and time your Dead Hard perfectly to take that endurance hit, that borrowed time hit, and run away and try and get to the next loop and survive. It is effective against Nurse, Blight, Huntresses, where the hatchet's flying through the air from the Huntress. You can see it. The Nurse is blinking on the second blink or the first blink. If she's by you, she's likely to swing straight away, so you can press it. Blight as well with the rush, he's charging towards you. Again, you can predict it. If he doesn't swing, he's going to get exhausted himself and slow down or be stunned for a period of time. So it definitely has its uses, but it's a huge nerf just purely because you're not able to dash to that next loop zone. You're not able to dash to that next pallet, the next window, which would just give the killer the extra chase time, which gives the survivor team an opportunity to repair gens. If the killer gives up on you, Dead Hard resets, rinse and repeat, and that's why Dead Hard was so powerful. Has it been nerfed too much? That's a question, but it's definitely a nerf. Dead by Daylight perk 6, Decisive Strike. So the old version, if you was hooked, saved from the hook, and then the killer focused on you and downed you and picked you up within 60 seconds, you could stun the killer for 5 seconds. which was a huge amount of time, and it's enough to get to a loop zone, a pallet, maybe lose line of sight, and it would cause the killer a number of problems. Now, the updated version of the perk will only stun the killer for 3 seconds. So this is quite interesting because it means killers such as Nurse, Blight, maybe Huntress, depending on line of sight, a 3-second stun is enough for them to get back in the action if pallets have been destroyed on loop zones. As then when you go to that jungle gym, you're more than likely going to be taken out. 3 seconds isn't enough to necessarily get away and escape. You can, and I'm sure it will be situational, but it gives the killer a huge advantage. Now, the other thing they added was if the exit gates are powered, this perk deactivates. The same thing stands regarding actions. So once you've been saved from the hook, if you unhook someone, if you sabotage a hook, heal yourself, someone else, you cleanse, bless a totem, open exit gate, you do one of those actions, it then renders the perk useless. It deactivates it, so you're not able to use it. So just be aware of that. Overall, the perk is definitely nerfed. You've lost 2 seconds on a stun. When the exit gates are powered, it now deactivates. So it's a huge nerf. Deja Vu, the 7th perk. It allows you to see 3 generators which are in close proximity to one another. This reduces the chance of a 3-gen. This lasts for 60 seconds at the start of the match and also activates every time a generator is completed. If you do hold a map, it will also add the generators from Deja Vu onto the map tracking. So the updated perk has added a 5% repair speed bonus to the perk, which is a buff. The 5% increase of speed repairing generators is the Deja Vu generators, so you can get the ones that are in close proximity to get it done quicker. Distortion. This perk allows you to start with tokens, which will not show the killer your aura, and on doing so, when the killer hooks a survivor with barbecue, your aura won't be shown to them. Now, this will consume a token, and for 10 seconds, you won't leave scratch marks, and your aura will be hidden. Now, the updated perk has taken 1 token away, so you've got a max of 3 tokens. However, if you spend time in the killer's radius, you actually will gain a token. You can have no more than 3, but you can gain tokens throughout the match, which actually kind of allows you to be even more stealthy or hidden from that killer. On the basis that you can regain tokens, it's a buff for me. Hope, perk 9 in DBD. Old Hope had a time limit of 120 seconds when the gates were powered, so even if someone didn't open them, you only had 120 seconds of the perk. So 107% run speed. Some killers have base speed, or some of them are 115, but you do run that extra fast. If you get a good loop zone, you'll keep that killer very, very busy. Now, the new perk allows the Hope to last the entire amount of endgame. So if the killer hooks someone and your survivor friends don't open the gate and the time hasn't gone off, you have got that 7% haste. And the killer might not know about that, allowing you to go in for that final save with borrowed time, and obviously off you guys go. So a huge buff. Inner Focus, perk 10 from Dead by Daylight. The original perk allows you to see survivor scratch marks within 32 meters from you, and if another survivor loses a health state within 32 meters of you, the killer's aura is shown to you for 5 seconds. In the new update, all they've done, they've just removed the distance that you can see survivor scratch marks. So literally, there is no distance cap now, so you can see scratch marks on the map at any range. So Inner Focus change is a buff. Iron Will perk 11. Been waiting to discuss this one. So Iron Will was the killer's kryptonite. It was reduced noises, grunts of pain, reduced by 100%. You go into a jungle gym, you quick and quiet through a window, you just lose line of sight of the killer for a few moments, and they are going to be lost looking for you in a lot of cases. Now, that was the old version of Iron Will. The new version of Iron Will now only reduces your grunts of pains and injuries by 75%, meaning the killer still has a chance to hear you sort of screaming in pain if you're injured, if you're in the injured state. Now, the other change is it does not function while exhausted. So unfortunately, if you are exhausted, then Iron Will and the 75% reduction in pain and grunts, they're gone. The perk doesn't work, which means you will literally be as loud as a normal survivor. So this is a huge nerf, huge. Lightweight, perk number 12. The old version had 3 seconds, so your scratch marks will stay visible 3 seconds less than normal. Now, the change, they've added 2 seconds to it, so it's now 5 seconds less than normal. And they've also added one more bonus. If you run lightweight, the spacing of your scratch marks will be inconsistent, which is going to make it harder for the killer to track you or chase you or find you. Lightweight, definitely a buff. Lucky Break, perk 13. So the old version of Lucky Break was when you got injured, it got activated. And that means for 60 seconds, you would not show blood or scratch marks, which is brilliant. If you healed yourself within that 60 seconds, let's just say 30 seconds in, you managed to heal yourself, Lucky Break would it would pause and you'd have 30 seconds left. If you got injured again, it would then reactivate for that final 30 seconds. Now, if you healed yourself and then went to heal someone else, okay, then this is the change, okay? So that was the old version, but this is the change. If you healed yourself and you had 30 seconds left, all 3 survivors were injured, and you healed them, every 1 second spent healing is 1 second added to Lucky Break. So you'd increase that duration, possibly back up to maximum level, which makes it an absolute pain for the killer. One, Lucky Break is brilliant. First chase, you can lose line of sight, and lose the chase. Probably need anywhere from sort of 10 to 15 seconds, and that's enough. The speed boost away, no scratch marks, blood trails, and then line of sight issues maybe on a certain map. You're going to lose that chase. Killer's going to be lost unless you sort of like double back on yourself and bump into the killer. It's unreal. But then to go away and be able to heal yourself, keep Lucky Break, but then be able to add to it if you heal other survivors before the killer finds you again, unreal. It is a buff. No one left behind, perk 14. So you've got 100% blood points from healing and unhooking survivors with the old and with the new. 50% bonus action speed when healing and unhooking other survivors with the old and the new. The aura of all survivors revealed to you, the old and the new. So what's the change? Well, simply this. When unhooking a survivor, they gain a 7% movement bonus for 10 seconds. So the endgame saves when that survivor's off the hook, injured even after 5 seconds endurance. That 7% movement speed is going to be possibly game-changing. More escapes if the hook is near the exit gate. Maybe survivors have an opportunity to come into protection hit because of the speed boost that survivor off hook gets. Maybe they can get to a loop zone to hold up the killer, and then the other survivors can come in. There's a whole variety of scenarios from this, but it's a buff. Off the record, perk 15. So off the record is pretty same in the place of it will, once you unhook or once you've unhooked or escape from the hook, it activates for 80 seconds. So what does that mean? Well, while it's activated, your aura's not shown to killer, your grunts of pain caused by injuries are reduced by 100%. So it's like the old school Iron Will. Pretty special, over a minute in absolute silence. And then the new perk is kind of made it very interesting. You gain the endurance status effect while it's active. That's for 80 seconds. That's like a borrowed time effect for 80 seconds. I mean, this perk must be in your loadout. The only twist is once the exit gates are powered, that no longer applies. So you can't necessarily use it for the end game escape. Overall, this perk has had a buff, and be very interesting to see this run in the fog with a Swift all running this perk. Overzealous Perk 16. After cleansing any totem, this perk will activate, giving you a 6% repair speed in the old version of the perk. If you lost health state, you lose the bonus repair speed. Now the new perk, the updated version, has increased it by 2% and they've to 8%. But what they've done is, if you cleanse a hex totem, you gain double the speed, 16% repair speed on a generator. Overzealous definitely had a buff. Pharmacy, perk 17. So Pharmacy, old and new, when you unlock chests, it's 80% faster. The noises created from opening chests, the distance that you can hear those noises from is reduced by 8 meters. Now, the old perk, it would guarantee emergency medkit on the first unlocking of a chest. The new perk guarantees an emergency medkit upon completing the interaction with a chest. This means you're getting a medkit every single chest you open. The perk has had a buff. Medkits are useful in the game. They can heal you, your friends, quicker. So, it's buffed. Saboteur, perk 18. So not much has changed in this one. When a survivor's picked up, you can see hooks from a 56 meter range. It takes 2.5 seconds to sabotage a hook. You don't need a toolbox. It's got a cooldown of 60 seconds, meaning you can only use it once a minute. Now, the only thing they've added is scourge hooks are shown in yellow. So they've added something. It's a minor buff, but not too much to rave about. Self-care, perk 19. The old version of self-care had a 50% healing speed and item efficiency increased by 20%. The ability to heal yourself without a healing item is now at 35%, so just over a third, taking self-care from a 32-second individual heal, which was manageable considering if you run around the map trying to find a survivor, leaving scratch marks, might bump into the killer again. It was sometimes beneficial to use self-care 32 seconds. But now with the 35% normal healing speed on the new perk, it's now 45.7 seconds, so 45 seconds. Now, if you do combine this with botany knowledge, you can bring it down to about 30 seconds. But you then taken up 2 perk slots when you could just use Boon Circle of Healing. It is by far the best healing perk in the game. Again, if survivors are cleansing totems, then it eradicates that perk. But no, when survivors see a boon go up, most of them will leave the totems alone. They know someone's running Boon Circle for Healing, and they know they need to leave it alone. No-ed's not very scary anymore because you'll see it when you're in range of it, so you don't need to cleanse the totems to remove the no-ed. You can get rid of it when it pops. So due to the increased time it takes to heal yourself individually, this perk has taken a nerf. Soul Survivor, perk 20. So you're going to disrupt the killer's aura reading ability with this perk. And the old and new have kept the reading ability, so when a survivor is killed, moried, or sacrificed third stage on a hook, you gain a token. For each token you've got, your aura can't be read by the killer within a max range of 24 meters, which is brilliant. The updated perk, or version of the perk, they've put in 2 very, very powerful buffs at the end if you're the only survivor alive. You have 75% action speed when repairing generators and 50% action speed when opening the exit gate or the hatch. So solo surviving or being the last survivor left by yourself, if you get to that point in the game, you are generally going to be escaping. Even with the, and this really has an advantage over the maps that procedurally generate the 2 gates near each other. Arguably, the range killers can probably catch you out, hunters the hatchets. But even with the 50% action speed, gaining 50% action speed, you have that much more of a chance of escaping. Soul Survivor has had a buff. Spine Chill, perk 21. So Spine Chill still works with you getting notified that killers within a 36 meter range of you. If the killer is in range with you, they have to be in line of sight. That's the change. Before it's just 36 meters. Now they have to have line of sight. The other thing is, yes, you get 6% repairing, sabotage, healing, unhooking, cleansing, blessing, opening exit gates, and unlocking. But they've taken out vaulting. So you can't now use resilience and spine chill together to get that 15% vault speed, which gives the killer an advantage. When the killer is looking at you line of sight, the effect of spine chill will linger now for 0.5 seconds rather than flashing on and off. And lastly, the spine chill's icon indicates the strength of the killer's terror radius. So a few changes. I think removing the vault speed, removing the skill check, increased skill checks, we don't mind them, extra blood points, and the success zones reduced by 10%, which isn't much of a difference. It has been ever so slightly nerfed. The line of sight makes it harder to use. If you're in a jungle gym, spine chill isn't going to go off until the killer's almost upon you. If the pallet's already gone, or I know you don't make it to the pallet, you run towards the killer because you're just not aware of the direction they're coming from. Obviously you're going to get yourself in a bit of trouble, and you're going to go to injured state or dying state depending on your state in the game. So spine chill's had a nerf. Tenacity, perk 22. So the old perk allows you to crawl faster and recover at the same time, and at 50% faster speed. The new perk has allowed the same thing to happen. They've now reduced your grunts of pain when you're in dying state by 75%. So obviously if you get on that crawl and that recovery, and the killer's trying to chase away a survivor or see someone else in distance, wants to take advantage, maybe Myers with his tier 3, he goes after someone else, you can now crawl, recover, and when then Myers comes back looking for you, or any killer, your sound is reduced by 75%. Your team are more than likely going to be able to get you up. Had a slight buff. We made it, folks. We're here. We're going to live forever. Perk 23, the final survivor perk that's been updated. So the healing speed when you heal someone from dying state is increased by 100%. That's the same for the old and the new perk. Before, in the old perk, you gained a token for performing a safe hook rescue, taking a hit to protect the survivor, rescuing a survivor by slamming a pallet on the killer, or blinding the killer with a flashlight. Each token was worth 25% to all blood points gained, so maximum 100%. So it's a huge blood point gain. The change is, rather than gaining tokens, in the new perk, you are gaining or activating a secondary function. So performing a safe hook rescue, taking a hit to protect survivor, pallet slamming a killer to save a survivor, rescuing a survivor with a blind, you activate the secondary function. Once that's activated, if you heal someone from dying state, it grants them endurance for 10 seconds. So it's equivalent to the borrowed time perk from dying state though, which is pretty decent. Not necessarily a meta perk, but a very interesting one, and one that's probably worth a go sometime. Well, that's the end, folks. The 23 perks have been updated with the patch 6.1.0, the mid-chapter update. The survivor perks, all 23 of them discussed in detail. I'm live on Twitch Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, 9 PM UK British summertime. If you want to pop over, we play games with viewers. We're happy to have you. If you've got any questions about perks, current perks, builds, again, we're more than happy to support you with that. We're a variety stream as well, even though DBD is one of the core games of the stream. And if you're watching this video on the 7th of August, we have a 2-year Twitch birthday, a subathon that's taking place. We'd love to have you over to celebrate with us. If you want to see me eat a lemon, maybe a Carolina Reaper bean, a pie in the face, maybe win some giveaways, or just join in with a fun, all-inclusive community, pop over. You'll see the hype that takes place. And thank you so much for watching the video. Appreciate each and every single one of you. Just go and have your games in the fog. Go and leave the love in the fog. Remember, this is a video game. It's made up of pixels and algorithms. It's not real. So just have fun. Take care all. See you out there.